As you see a little smattering of rain. There are some dark clouds gathering over the top of the stadium.
Well, now, back to the track then, or rather, this is our first bit of track action. It's the first heat of the women's 200 metres. This is the first round. A number of the competitors we've already seen, of course, taking part in the 100 metres. Some of the others come fresh to this event. Alison Felix, the world leader, not doing the 200 for a change, of course. She's the fastest in the field, fastest in the world at 21.98. This is the lineup of that first heat. Papaioannou, Nelson, Morales, Magrone, Kambundji, Kukushkina and Zyabkina. Magrone in the red of the USA, fourth on the inside, is certainly off well, so too is Kambundji. These two are coming clear at the moment. They come into the straight now, pretty much side by side, and it's Candice Magrone going away from the field. Magrone is going to win by a big margin. Zyabkina also finishing fast for Kazakhstan. Magrone wins it. Just holding on for second is Kambundji, and then Zyabkina of Kazakhstan behind, and a very useful start for the American. Decent time. 22.46, and what was perhaps most impressive, that she won by a really big margin, so good international championships debut for her. This is the finish from Magrone. The Kambundji on her left there, taking the second place. Magrone 22.45, Kambundji 22.92, same time for Zyabkina. They go through. Slight headwind in the stadium, minus 0.9 was the wind reading.
The second heat of the women's 200 metres. Jenna Prandini, the US champion, goes in 7. So Prandini will start this one as the favourite. Good start from Toulouse outside the American, though, and also going well. Alexander on Prandini's inside. Still no move from Durant, waiting for the stagger to unwind. It's the American leading. Toulouse running really well outside her. And these two coming away from the rest of the field. Toulouse is storming to this victory. Toulouse takes it. Great second place there for Prandini. And Palfreman of South Africa came through for third. Well, Toulouse is applauding herself here.
Toulouse with a great performance there. Impressive. You've got to come into these championships and state your intentions, and she's done just that in the heats.
Great run from Marie-José Toulouse, a lifetime best. Prandini second, Palfreman from South Africa third. Vates will have to wait to see if that's good enough to go through as the fastest loser.
Another roar from the crowd. That's in the javelin. We'll give you more of that later, but we go now to the third of the 200 metres heats for women, and Blessing Okabari goes in lane 4, but she's not starting. Oh, well, that's a real shock. Away cleanly. Not much to choose between them, really. It looks as if Tamo's gone off very hard, coming around the bend now. She's catched up on Hyacinth on her outside. Tamo now leads into the straight by about 2 metres or so. Going well also there is Hooper of Italy. So it's Tamo, Hooper, and on the inside there, Kimberly Hyacinth coming through in third place. So a comfortable victory, really, for the American there, Geneva Tamo, 30 United States. The winning time not as fast as the previous heat, 22.08. Sorry, 22.80, I should say. But a good performance.
Wasn't as quick, but I mean, she could afford to ease down a little in the straight, couldn't she? Certainly went off very hard around the bend, and it's officially 22.79. Hooper in second place, 22.99. That's a season's best for her.
There's a result from Tamo, 22.79. Hooper, 22.99. And qualifying in third place, Kimberly Hyacinth of Canada.
And so they're on the track then for Heat 4 of the women's 200 metres. Soto, Mihalinec, Thompson, another non-starter, Pogrebniak, who actually did run pretty poorly in the 100, so something wrong with her there. Then Bianca Williams, Jones Forret and Bingham. So Thompson, the athlete to look out for, third from the inside, and certainly was well clear, I think, of the rest. A good run by Bingham right on the outside, but it's Thompson streaking well clear of the rest. Inside her, Mihalinic is in contention. So too, as I've said before, Bingham, so too Bianca Williams. But well clear is Thompson. Bianca Williams takes second. In third place, it's Bingham, and a time of 22.78. Look at that, almost stopping.
Well, she was actually braking, wasn't she? 20 metres out, she was actually stopping herself.
And Bianca Williams running a season's best 22.86 behind her, and Bingham getting through. And I think Mihalinic is 23.05 in fourth, will be enough to qualify as well. Thompson winning in 22.78 from Bianca Williams, 22.85, and Bingham 22.90.
There's the familiar face of Veronica Campbell-Brown, the double Olympic champion over 200 metres. Heat 5 in this absorbing sequence of 200-metre races. Veronica Campbell-Brown goes in 5. Campbell-Brown in 5, so experienced, so decorated. So Veronica Campbell-Brown gets a really good start. Liang going well on the outside. That's why the crowd are getting very excited. Campbell-Brown coming away. Seymour Hackett running really well outside the Jamaican. And the two Caribbean nations miles clear of the rest of the field. Adeoye is coming through for third. Campbell-Brown from Hackett. Adeoye takes third place. Had to work a little hard for that because the Canadian Emmanuel was running well on her inside. 22.79. All the winning times have been there or thereabouts. Talu was 22.73. Tarmo 22.79. Hackett was running well, third from the outside. These two were well clear, but Steve, it definitely wasn't quite as impressive as Thompson.
I pointed out earlier that she was running out of her lane, and that's exactly what's just happened. Now, that means that obviously she's going to be disqualified. She obviously didn't take the bend too well and didn't realise where she was coming into that final straight.
Campbell-Brown's time confirmed at 22.79, just 1/100th slower than Thompson, but I agree with you, Steve. Thompson looked much more comfortable for that time. Campbell-Brown still takes that one. Hackett second, Adeoye the third automatic qualifier.
And in this race, obviously, the one to watch, Daphne Schippers. This wonderful performance from her in the 100 metres, where she got that silver medal, as I said before. She's a reigning European champion at 60 metres indoors, and then the 100 and the 200 metres outdoors. Chimova of Russia goes in 1. Ferguson of the Bahamas in 2. Santos, this good Brazilian, in 5. Stewie of the Ukraine in 6. Then Schippers in 7. Away first time. Schippers got a good start, catching up Lenski on her outside almost instantly. So it's going to be Schippers coming off the bend. On the inside of her, though, it's Stewie of the Ukraine. And on the inside of her, Santos also running well. Schippers pulling away here so comfortably. Santos just behind her in the green. And coming through, it's Stewie of the Ukraine in third place. But on the outside there, Thomas just coming through in the end. Well, look at the time, 22.59, and it was very, very easy indeed for Daphne Schippers. Just as good as Thomas, I think, in the previous heat, but she is so strong. Look at that. That is a lovely, lovely performance from Schippers. Be interesting to see what she can do in the semi-finals. I think that's when we'll see the true colours of some of these athletes, when they have to really pull all the stops to get to the final.
There's the result of the sixth heat.
Well, Schippers with that wonderful performance, 22.58, and looks so comfortable in doing it. So that's what we're judging these things on, not the actual time, but how they do it. Heats are all about qualifying easily, no matter what distance it is, and even in the sprints, you can take it casual.
So one heat to go. Oh, we're just looking at the pole vault there. It's an incredibly high standard. 12 of the 14 women left in at 470. And there is the lineup for heat 7 of the 200 meters. Well, Simpson certainly away well ahead of Gandula of Cuba. And Asher Smith on the inside already opening, taking up the stagger of those outside her. Asher Smith and Simpson, and then perhaps Safronova. But it's Asher Smith showing that just what a talent she is. Lalova finishing strongly as well, and Simpson, but it's Asher Smith all the way here. Dina Asher Smith, the British teenager, wins it. Then very close between Lalova, might just have got up to beat Simpson, who eased down a bit. And just look at that time. It's yet another personal best for Dina Asher Smith. She's a very special talent, and she's just run 22.23 from that inside lane. She'll run quicker yet. She's one of the most exciting talents, as I was saying, as a young sprinter, and she's shown it here on the senior stage now. Yes, already the British record holder at 100 metres. It's not going to be long before Kathy Cook's British record, 22.10, falls to her, because she's just run 22.22. Sharon Simpson, 22.52, Lalova, 22.54, and Kilbasinska's 22.98 time is also good enough to take her through to the semi-finals. And that's the summary. Asher Smith, easily the quickest in the end, but of course some of the other athletes easing through. McGrone, Simpson, Lally, Shippers, very good standard indeed for a first round series of heats. So this is the final of the women's 400 meters hurdles. So there it is, Little, Child, Peterson, Haynever, Tate, Spencer, Nell and Russell, the lineup for the final of the women's 400 meter hurdles. So the athletes now introduced to the crowd. This is Shamia Nittel, who won the World Junior title last year and has really excelled this season. At the age of 20, she's now the Pan American Games champion, the US champion, and the US Collegiate champion. A little bit of struggle getting into this final, but now is the chance for her to show just what she's worth. Ailey Child, European champion last year, Commonwealth silver medals, both in 2010 and in 2014. She goes in lane 3. Sarah Peterson, the Danish athlete who's had a wonderful breakthrough season at the end of 28, stuck in the mid-55s for years, but now she's come down to 53.99. Second in Paris, second in Stockholm, first in Lausanne in Diamond League action. Susanna Haynever, back at her best after that unbeaten season that she had in 2013 when she won the world title. The best of that year of 52.83. And then in lane 6, Cassandra Tate. Very consistent this year with a second and 3 thirds and a couple of fourths in Diamond League action. And she's running very close to her best in each round here. Callie Spencer was the Commonwealth champion for Jamaica. Just a little bit of interruption in her training schedule this year. So her best, though, 54.01. She was the world #1 last year. Then we have Wenda Nell of South Africa, also running close to her best here. Last year's African champion has run 54.37 this year. And on the outside, another youngster, the 21-year-old Genevieve Russell for Jamaica, world junior champion in 2012, and the Commonwealth bronze medalist last year. Well, away they go then, and who's going to be first to rise? Certainly a good start for Cassandra Tate of the US, who always goes hard. She's opened up a bit of a gap over Haynever. And the Nell of South Africa also going strongly, but at this early stage, it's Cassandra Tate who loves to go out hard, but Haynever is narrowing the gap faster and on that back straight. Child of Great Britain is up on Peterson in the inside lanes. Peterson, one of those athletes who loves to come through. So it's pretty close. And it's Haynever who leads, passing by the pole vault where the up noise is, and Haynever it is who's now overtaken Tate to take the lead. Russell right on the outside, and Hainover coming clear of the field. Little on the inside is finishing strongly, though. It's Hainover looking set to retain her title. Hainover takes that last barrier. She's surely going to retain her title. Hainover comes through to win. Little takes second place. In third, just behind, is Cassandra Tate, who got off very hard, of course, and came through to finish. And Peterson also finishing very strongly. And the time at 53.50 is fittingly the world leading time this year, and a splendid run back to her best for the Czech athlete Hainover.
That was absolutely superb from Hainover. A really, really classy win. No woman has ever successfully retained this title, but she's become the first. A torrid time with injury since Moscow, and she's peaked once again at the right time. And what a brilliant run for Shamir Little in second place. She's looked a little bit tired coming into this championship, which is no wonder. Reigning world junior champion, she's won the Pan American title. A great recovery from a really awkward lane. Tate went out hard, she had to really. She's rewarded with a place on the podium, but Hainover creates a little piece of history here in Beijing. She really is turning out to be a dominant force in this event, but what a massive future Shamir Little has after a fabulously composed performance from one so young for the silver.
Gold medal going to Zuzana Hainover of the Czech Republic, 53.50, a world-leading times. Silver to Shamir Little of the USA, 53.94. And bronze to Cassandra Tate of the USA, 54.02. 200-meter races. Semi-final number 1. 3 of them, first 2 in each, and 2 more on times will progress. Well, away they go, no problem at all. And pretty level, but a good start by Hughes. He may have a shade ahead of Rodney outside him. Just inside Hughes is Sakanas, the Greek, and they're pretty level coming down this home straight, and they're very level. But it is Hughes who's going to take it, no, possibly just on the inside, Ashmead and Hughes, but that was a race in which they really were very level indeed.
Well, I think Hughes got that, and Ashmead just a shade behind on the inside there. But what a run from this young Briton, coming into sort of form that maybe taking him into a medal chance in the final.
One thing I've just noticed, I'm sure they do have the clock, but it didn't stop when the athletes crossed the line. No. There it comes, 20.14, and Ashmead in second. Martina will have to wait and see.
Zarnell Hughes winning in 20.14. He'll be going into the final together with Nicol Ashmead, 21.9.
This then is the lineup for the second of the semi-finals. Justin Gatlin, the fastest man in the world this year, the silver medalist in the 100, starts in 7. Well, Gatlin is renowned for his quick starts, and he's absolutely flying out of the blocks there. Alonso Edward trying to come up on the inside, but a good run from Femi Ogunode at the moment. Now Alonso Edward coming. Ogunode desperately trying to outdo the Panamanian. Gatlin takes it, 19.87. Alonso Edward came through for second, but he had to outdip Ogunode of Qatar on the line. What did you make of that, Steve Ovett? Gatlin comfortably under 20 seconds.
Well, he ran a great bend, didn't he? He really did pile it on. You can see the rest of them in shock as they come off that bend, digging deep. And from about 50 metres out, he started to ease. He didn't ease completely. He started to ease. Edward came through on the inside lanes there, and Ogunode also going well. But that performance, I think, from Gatlin is going to send shockwaves through the rest of the other athletes. That's a good run.
19.87 confirmed for Gatlin, 20.02 for Alonso Edward, the Panamanian, in second.
There's the lineup. Bolt going in 7. Gone off well, not much to choose at the moment. Bolt's got a reasonable start, starting to pull his way back on Talbot on the outside. Bolt's going to come ahead as they come into the straight. Talbot's there, the Brett on the outside of it, but it's going to be Bolt now on the inside. Jobawana coming through. Bolt easing down. Jobawana easing down. And on the inside there, Guliev just getting the third place, but it's only 2 to qualify. The time, 19.96. Well, was that better than the previous heat? I think it's just as impressive, to be honest.
So far this year, his best, 20.13 back in May. Now watch his body language here. Danny Talbot got a good start. Bolt's start was okay. He's already easing down here. I agree with you, Steve. This was as impressive as Gatlin. That was really, really impressive from Usain Bolt.
There's the result, that wonderful time, 19.95. Season's best for Usain. Great, he's getting under the 22nd shape.
Yes, Oganogi and Guliev are the two who go through on times to accompany the first two in each of the races.
Now, what a final we have in prospect in the men's javelin. Julius Jaegu is the furthest thrower in the world this year, but there's a massive stellar cast list here. Vitez Vesely is the defending champion. Jaegu, there he is, the Kenyan, hoping to get on the podium for the first time. And Pit Kamaki's been in sensational form this year. 5 throws over 87 metres from the Finn. Won the world title in fairly tricky conditions in Osaka in 2007. And here's the charismatic Kenyan. He's always got a smile on his face. The Commonwealth champion, the African champion. Heartache in Moscow. He was beaten out of bronze in the very last round. Can he get on the podium at the World Championship this time round? Then the pride of Finland's javelin throwing. Silver in Moscow, gold way back in Osaka, and an Olympic bronze medalist in this stadium. Tero Pitkamaki, so consistent. Can he produce the magic once again here tonight in the Bird's Nest Stadium? Then a very talented Egyptian. Great to see another African nation represented here. 7th in Moscow, Ihab El Said, world junior silver medalist back in 2008. Personal best of over 89 metres. Jaego, they call him the YouTube man because that's where he learned the basics of his technique. He's come an awfully long way since then, the Commonwealth champion, and how he'd love to secure his country's first global medal in this particular event. Ilhab El Said, world junior silver medalist back in 2008. He's an absolutely enormous man. He liked his first round throw, which was pretty solid. Oh, that's absolutely enormous. The huge Egyptian has just soared his way into the lead. The coach likes it. That was massive.
He's a big man, isn't he? And if he gets it right, it's going to go far. That soared out to just, what is it, about, I think about 88 metres there.
Probably closer to maybe the low 89s. His lifetime best, 89.21. That's going to be there or thereabouts.
Well, this is certainly 88.99. Wow, this is certainly going to be some Egyptian track history. They've only once had a finalist in any World Championship event, a 6th in the discus. They're going to do better than that here.
Well, that's going to be very, very tough to beat. Now, Vesely, the defending champions, in a little bit of bother here. Julius Jaego needs a decent throw here. He's in 8th place, and he desperately wants a further 3 efforts. The Commonwealth champion, the African champion. He's under a little bit of pressure here. Big roar. Does he like it? Does he like it? That is absolutely huge. I cannot believe it. That is well over 90 meters. Now, we know he's capable of that kind of distance. He did that at Birmingham, where he produced a huge national record of 91.39. That is absolutely colossal.
Well, the championship record, the great Jan Zalesny, 92.80, and he's getting close.
Oh, this is special. This is very, very special. There's a tingle of excitement here. 92.72. It's a Commonwealth record, and I make that the 3rd biggest throw in history under the current javelin regulations.
Well, the 3rd athlete. Zalesny had a whole series of throws there, so you say the 3rd throw, but the 3rd athlete of all time now in the javelin is Jaego.
Pit Kamaki out of the medals at the moment in 5th. Now, can the great champion improve? Oh, yes, he can. So it's around about halfway between 85 and 90. Looking to move up into the medals. Ruskanen, 87.12. Has he managed to get himself onto the podium? Yes, he has. He's pushed his compatriot out of the medals, 87.64. Ehab El Said, 88.99. Surely he can't launch it beyond 90, can he? And put Jaego under pressure. No, he can't. And Jaego is doing the jig of delight. El Said is absolutely over the moon with this silver medal. No worries about the other 4 throws. They're almost irrelevant. He's a huge man, and he's delivered the performance of his life. Of that, there's no doubt. The competition has really enthralled the crowd on that right-hand side of the arena. But Julius Jaego has produced a Commonwealth record and become the 3rd best thrower in history under the current javelin measurements. There you've got a glimpse of just how big El Said is. This is the guy they call the YouTube thrower, because that's where he learnt the basics of his technique. But since then, he has come and conquered all. 92 meters, 72. The Kenyan is already the world champion. Can he finish with a flourish? Listen to the roar from the crowd. Oh, he's over the line. Hands on hips. It doesn't matter. It's huge, by the way. It's another throw over 90 meters, but totally irrelevant. He has amazingly become the champion of the world. Look at the Kenyans in the crowd. They've won the 3,000 steeplechase. We expected that. Rudisha won the 8. We kind of expected that. Vivian Chariot won the women's 10,000, and they had a slightly unlikely 400-meter hurdles gold, but they've got a 5th now with Julius Jaego. Commonwealth record, best throw in the world this year, and he tonight has become a legend back home in Kenya.
Well, I say, what a marvellous performance from him. Totally unexpected, this javelin. And when he came through there and threw that massive throw in the first round, we thought that was it. But then Jaego came back again with that 90-meter throw. And the actual stadium, even the Chinese couldn't believe it as it soared out over that 90-meter mark.
Julius Jaego is now the 3rd best thrower in history. The Commonwealth champion is the world champion. Silver for Egypt with El Said, and the 2007 winner, Tero Pitkamaki, has to settle for 3rd this time. The final of the women's 3,000-metre steeplechase. There's the full lineup. Some really good athletes, of course, as you'd expect from Ethiopia, Aleyu and Asefa. Asefa got a bronze in London and in Moscow despite falling. Habiba Gharibi, second from the right-hand side, definitely starts this race as the favourite. What can the Kenyans or the Ethiopians do to deny her this gold medal? Chepkemoi looks over her shoulder just to see that Gharibi is there. And tucked in behind her is Rosaflin Chepngetich, the world junior silver medalist and the world youth champion in 2013. Back a couple of places, the Tunisian. Both Ethiopians, incidentally, towards the very back of the field. Ayalu just missing out on that medal in Moscow. Asefa, the other Ethiopian, hasn't been in great form this year, although she looked a little better in the heats. She's got really good major championship credentials after picking herself up literally off the floor to get the bronze medal in Moscow.
Barbara of India is again taking the pace up, Peter, which is, I think, what you expect. She did it before in the heats, and she's doing it again in the final. Yeah,
and she was rewarded with a national record by 5 seconds. I mean, it's a real mix of nationalities here. She's from Asia, of course. It's good to see 3 Americans in the lineup, but mostly it's the North and East Africans, and only 1 European, which is a sign of the times. Gesa Felicitas Krause of Germany.
She's a good athlete, actually, Krause. 8th in Daegu in London, 9th in Moscow. And I'm not sure they're taking too much notice of the Indian just at the moment. Lalita Barbar, who, as Peter said, set a new national record by almost 6 seconds to make certain her qualification for this final. Asian champion, as well as national record holder. El Alami just trying to get in amongst the chasers there. 2 Moroccans in this race. Madane was 15th in the World Junior Cross a few years ago. But it's the taller El Alami who's in 2nd place at the moment. Still no signs of anybody being particularly interested in chasing this down. Chepkemoi is on El Alami's shoulder. Emma Coburn is there. And Gharibi quite relaxed and very comfortable in that big pack. And at some stage, you suspect someone is going to start stretching their legs and trying to close down the Indian, because there are too many in that group.
Well, one of the other athletes we haven't mentioned so far is Ruth Jabet from Bahrain, transferee from Kenya. So there's, I suppose, another Kenyan there, just in the middle of that field with the white and red strip. So no one really has been affected by the pace of Barbara out in front. They're all together in that pack of about 12 or so behind. Barbara's done a good job, really, hasn't she? But she is going to be swallowed up. Coming up now over that water jump. No one really have any made problems with it. That's good.
And this lead is almost being eroded. It's so loud here in the bird's nest, it's almost difficult to hear each other commentating, because the Mexican wave is following the athletes round the track. Gharibi up onto the shoulder of Coburn, and now they will go sweeping past the Indian. 2 laps to go. Coburn leads from Gharibi. Chepkemoi has tracked the path of the leaders all the way around. And Aleyu, Hiwot Aleyu, the 3rd fastest athlete in the world this year, the Ethiopian, coming wide on the outside, getting herself in position.
And Krause of Germany there in 3rd place. Let's not forget her. She ran well in the semi-finals, and she's in 3rd place at the moment. But Gharibi looks comfortable on the shoulder of Coburn.
They take the bell in the final of the women's 3,000-metre steeplechase. Who's going to have the desire and the speed to try and close down Habiba Gharibi? Nyanganga, the other Kenyan, trying to get in amongst the mix. Still Gharibi leads. Kraus, the German, tried to find a way through on the inside, but it wasn't there. Coburn's in 3rd. Chepkemoi who won the Kenyan trials, is in second place, and she's coming up onto the Tunisian shoulder. Garibi looks as though she's under pressure here. And look at Kraus, the German, trying to come on the outside, now the inside. Garibi looks over her shoulder. It's a five-way burn-up for the 3 World Championship medals. Kraus coming through on the inside. Garibi sprinting. Chepkemoi, a 3-way battle for the medals. What a race, what a finish. Chepkemoi from Garibi, and Kraus gets the bronze. A fantastic, fantastic race. Chepkemoi has taken the gold medal, but my goodness me, she had to work so hard for that. An absolutely sensational last 200 metres. The pre-race favourite Garibi came wide. She allowed the German Kraus to come through on the inside.
And Garibi really just lost it in the end. In the last 2 strides, she's totally disappointed with that. She didn't like it at all. The way she actually ran Kraus, and she could have actually won it. She slowed over that last hurdle, a momentum, and then actually couldn't get it going again.
Yeah, 9:19.25 has come through for her. Asefa then in 4th. The one who, of course, really did suffer was Hiwot Ayalu, who I think would have been in contention, but she had that mishap earlier on in the race and she lost a lot of ground. She caught them back, but once you've had to do that and you've lost a lot of ground, it's tough, and it showed in the end.
She caught them back at the steeplechase, but she lost ground again when she went over it. So that's disappointing, but there you go, that's the steeplechase for you.
Wonderful, wonderful atmosphere here in the stadium.
And another victory for Kenya.
6 gold medals now for Kenya. And the overwhelming favourite once again picks up a global silver medal. What a run, though, from Krauser. 8th in Daegu, 8th in London. She's on the podium this time.
Look at that for a close finish, too, in the steeplechase, which was one of 2 gold medals won today for Kenya by Chepkemoi, whose acceleration in the last few metres proved too much for Garibi and Krauser.
Meanwhile, the pole vault is going on at the top end of the stadium. The rain has stopped, thankfully, so I don't think it'll be much of a problem for them now. We've got the world champion here, former world champion in Mura, the European champion in Sidorova, second Olympics with silver. And as I said, Jennifer Sir may be the Olympic champion, coming into form and perhaps the one that's going to be the main contender for that gold medal.
Here's the last athlete to attempt 480. All the other 6 have failed at this height. So this is Kyriakopoulou of Greece, just a little short of the new national record that she set recently. 480 for Kyriakopoulou. Oh yes, very nicely over. And she goes into the lead in the competition as the only athlete who's done 480 on that opening attempt. 6 more, of course, still remain in the competition, but they're going to have to out-jump her if they're going to take the gold medal. And, well, maybe she just... Well, she did nudge it a bit, didn't she? But got the height okay. So now, Mura, her first attempt at 485. Oh, yes, she's hit it, but it's still up there. And that matches the personal best that she set both in 2010 and 2011, so her best vault for 4 years. She's now up into second place. 2 over 485. We're having a good competition here. Just touching the bar. She had plenty of height, though. Just come down on it, but it just bounced off the pegs. Came back on them. Little fortunate, perhaps. So the Greek athlete, Kyriakopoulou, the one left to go at 485. Last chance for Kyriakopoulos to advance from bronze to a higher position in the pole vault. Attempting a Greek record, 490. No, not to be. Well, she'd taken one failure at 485, so had two attempts at 490 and has to bow out of the competition. No one yet clear at this height. Two failures for Silva, Mora and Kyriakopoulos, and the bronze medal goes to the Greek athlete. Well, she's well pleased with that. Just look again at that 490 attempt. Just hits it on the way up. That's her card. Few failures along the way. 480 first time. Took her into the lead at that time. But Silva took it over with 485. But she's behind Mura, because Mura cleared 485 on her first attempt and had no failures before then. So now, 490, just a centimetre below the Central American record that Silva herself has set earlier this year. 4 meters 90 in the pole vault. Oh, and she does it. Oh, she looks so terrific at 480, and that's jubilation for Cuba. Mura's still got one attempt left, but this could well be the gold medal performance by Silva. She really is a superb technician. Compact technique. She's just 1.62 meters tall. She really does pack a punch, though. So just one jump left by Mura can stop this young lady. Over she goes. Superb. Just touches the bar a little bit. Well, that happened during the steeplechase. That was the great roar that was heard earlier on in that race. And Urisley Silva, the Olympic silver medalist, lost that on count back to Sir. So only this woman, Fabiana Mora, who's already equaled her best at 485, can change things at all. Of course, if Mora does clear, she would go into the lead because she's had fewer failures in the competition, as that card shows. So this, the crucial vault for Fabiana Mora of Brazil. Brunella Villani, an interested spectator here. Mora down the runway, looking at the bar at 490. Oh no, nowhere near. That's silver, therefore, for the Brazilian. Tremendous performance to equal your lifetime best, equal the South American record. Could hardly ask for more. She'd have loved a bit more, but it's Silva who takes gold and Mora who takes silver. With Kyriakopoulos, the bronze medalist. Good standard overall with 7 women at 470. Well, Silva's now having the bar set at 501. She's failed twice. This is her last chance to become just the 3rd member of the 5-meter club. No, not to be, but no matter, because she's got the gold medal, and that's what she came here for. Well, it's not a surprise, but it was a very classy field, and she had to produce her best to win the title. Mass Stranks, the photographers, all taking the same picture. Mora, 4 meters 85 to tie her own South American record. The result of the pole vault: gold to Yarisli Silva of Cuba at 490, silver to Fabiana Moura of Brazil at 485, and bronze to Nicoleta Kyriakopoulou of Greece at 480. And 12 women over 460. No heights cleared, unfortunately, by Meyer and Sidorova.
We move back to the track, the last event in this evening's program, or what event this is, the men's 400 meters. You see, there's the lineup. Well, Centenio, just 20 years of age, the world junior champion. On the inside there, very tall, very fast, won the Stockholm Diamond League, so he is a real talent, this boy. On his outside, Rabah Youssef of Great Britain. Relay gold in the European Championships. Personal bets down in the semi-finals to 44.54. And then this enigmatic Botswanan, Isaac Makwala, did press-ups after his semi-final. He had the outside lane in the heats and the semi-final and won both of them. What more do you want? Look at him, he loves it. Just on his outside. This massive man, Karani James, beautiful run-up. In 2011, become the youngest world champion in the 400 meters when he was just 18 years of age. The Olympic champion. And again, another talent from South Africa. Wade van Niekerk, who hasn't lost a race this year, including his heats and his semi-finals. He can dip below 20 seconds for the 200 meters. He's very, very fast. Silver medal from the Olympics. Small, but very, very good. Luguelin Santos of the Dominican Republic. National record easing up in the semi-finals to be behind Karani James. And then in lane 8, the defending world champion, the former Olympic champion here in Beijing, the great LaShawn Merritt. The only American to make the final. He was second in their trials, but he's here now representing his country. On the outside lane, finally, from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Youssef Mazhari, twice Asian champion, 44.04, second in his semi-final, and looked very, very comfortable. Well, there's not much to choose between any of these guys. The good money will be on this man, Karani James, but he's up against it. He really is. The crowd going silent. This is the last event on the track. And what an event. LaShawn Merritt just looking at the cameras. They're going down now. Centenio, Trinidad and Tobago. Youssef, Great Britain. Makwala, Botswana. James, Grenada. Van Niekerk, South Africa. Santos, Dominican Republic. Merritt, United States. And Mazrahi of Saudi Arabia. They're away. And the big man, Karani James, got a good start, but on his outside, Van Niekerk going well and catching up Santos on his outside.
Merritt on the outside.
Merritt's also running well, running hard as possible, but at the moment it looks like Van Niekerk, as Karani James realises he's got a bit of a battle on his hands here, also running well. Makwala on the inside of Karani James. Not much to choose between them. Santos maybe coming hard off the bend in the lead from LaShawn Merritt. It is Santos at the moment. And Van Niekerk running well. Van Niekerk is running well. James coming hard on the outside. LaShawn Merritt losing ground. But it's going to be Van Niekerk. South Africa win it. Behind at the time, 43.47. Well, Merritt just behind there. And Karani James on the outside. LaShawn Merritt gets that silver with a great run. All three of those under 44.
And Luguelin Santos, who was fourth, 44.11, a national record. Makwala, 44.63. Even Rabah Youssef in sixth, 44.68.
Well, in the end, has to settle, I think, for third.
An absolutely phenomenal performance from Wade van Niekerk. Great races from Merritt and from Karani James. Merritt in second place, 43.65. Karani James, the bronze, 43.78.
Well, he hasn't lost a race this year, and he still hasn't lost a race. That was an absolute fabulous run from the middle of the field. The Sean Merritt, though, personal best to come back, the defending champion, and to do that here in the final. Karani James, when everybody thought that he was going to do a sub 44, he has, but he's ended up in third place.
There's no disgrace for Merritt or Karani James. Van Niekerk was just in a class of his own there. As he came round that top bend, he just looked so good. They did begin to close him down. He was tiring in the last 100 metres or so, but had enough strength to see himself across the line. And maybe he drew on that great speed that he's got that's already taken him to sub 20 seconds this season for 200 metres.
Well, he's run himself into a gold medal and the hospital by the looks of it, but the winning time, 43.48. Absolutely fabulous performance.